We're looking at the city of Miami. They've just voted to accept over $4 million in gift contributions generated by MiamiCoin, a city-based token launched last month by the CityCoin protocol. And according to the Miami Mayor, MiamiCoin generates $2,000 every 10 minutes for the city. It's incredible. Joining us now is Mayor Francis Suarez of Florida. Welcome, Mayor. So off the bat, love the hat. What is MiamiCoin? What is it used for, and where does the value of it come from?
Well, first of all, it's actually close to 7 million already by now since we accepted the money. So it has remained at the same pace. MiamiCoin is an interesting and different sort of variation of Bitcoin, frankly. It's based on the Bitcoin blockchain through a different blockchain that's called Stacks, which stacks on the Bitcoin blockchain and allows for smart contracts to hash on the Bitcoin blockchain. And so it was created by an organization called CityCoin. And what it does right now is it captures the excitement that Miami is delivering for the crypto community of the world. Miami is differentiating itself as a crypto capital of the world. It opened at about 4/10 of a cent in terms of value. The last time I checked it a few days ago was at 4.5 cents. So it's already grown 10x in value. And I think, again, that is a function of how exciting Miami is in the crypto world, and B, the understanding that a percentage of the accumulated stake that is used for mining goes to the city of Miami. It's actually 30% of all stake coins for mining. So that it creates a new paradigm, a new dynamic that could raise for the city upwards of $60 million in the first year.
So, Your Honor, welcome back. You can stake MiamiCoin, but does that put you in jeopardy with the SEC or state regulators? How is it different than, say, what Coinbase had proposed to do, what BlockFi was doing? Is this something that owners should be worried if they go out and stake it?
Well, we're not staking it just yet. We're going to spend about 6 months accumulating it, waiting to see what kind of volatility it has and sort of seeing it perform before we make any decisions relative to staking of the coins. But I think what's exciting about it is that it's generating, like I said, $2,000 or $3,000 every 10 minutes based on the volume of mining that's happening right now. So what you've essentially created is a different form of revenue generation for cities. It's not involuntary tax. It's not philanthropy. It's this other thing, and it's a generational potential improvement that, taken to its logical extension, could theoretically create a scenario under which Miami pays for its municipal services without having to tax its residents, which would be obviously incredibly earth-shattering.
Mayor Suarez, it's definitely very cool, but let's just talk a little bit about the mechanics of this, right? So you're saying that it's we're seeing reports that this is up 430%, but just by the laws of the market, what goes up must go down, right? So I'm just I guess, what is driving up the price of MiamiCoin? Is it just supply and demand? It's just a lot of people kind of getting into the action, and then sort of the other side of that is what happens, if it crashes. I mean, if this is like a market-driven coin, it could crash, right? I mean, will the city step in, or what if people start losing their savings on MiamiCoin? So I guess my question is what's driving these price fluctuations, and is there anything in place to protect people if the coin suddenly crashes?
Well, first of all, I just want to be clear that this is not our coin. In other words, this was developed by a group of people. We have been monitoring. We've done a significant amount of due diligence on the coin, how it was structured, and how it's to the public. But we bear no liability whatsoever for people's investment decisions, good or bad. What goes up must come down is sort of some sort of an investment truism, I guess, for some. It hasn't really worked out that way for Bitcoin. Over the life of Bitcoin, it has essentially gone up. What's been interesting about Bitcoin is that its use case right now has been essentially a store of value. And the question is, does Miami Coin remain a store of value, right, where people are excited about the brand and finding it a coin that maintains its value or increases its value over time? Or does it have a different use case? We are working in the city to create a variety of different use cases because we feel that if MiamiCoin metamorphosizes into a currency, right now it's trading at 4.5 cents as opposed to Bitcoin that, as you said, was trading at $43,000. there exists a possibility that it could have wide use and wide applicability. And that would be interesting because it would generate a significant amount of dollars for the city and create a coin that actually has
You talk about uses. So what is it used for? I mean, can I pay my taxes with it? Can people pay their parking tickets with it?
well, like I said, it just launched about a month ago. And happened. And when you look at the sort of what I call the mainstreaming of a coin and compare it to Bitcoin, it's actually been mainstreaming significantly faster, in part because obviously Bitcoin has mainstream that has made cryptocurrencies much more mainstream generally. But right now, the first thing you had to do is just create a sort of a network of miners, right? I mean, to create the kind of volume and traffic, you have to create a network of miners that are willing to mine the coin so that it can be transferred efficiently back and forth. I think now that happens, I had a developer last night tell me that they were going to make a public announcement that they would accept MiamiCoin to buy and sell real estate. That would be the first announcement of its kind. It would be very, very big news. But what we want to do is we want to try to help get it into small businesses, supermarkets, restaurants, and things of that nature, so that they can accept MiamiCoin. Obviously, if they feel comfortable keeping it, they can. If not, they can convert it to dollars instantly because there's a market for it. They can get the dollars back. But it's just an exciting new prospect of what a cryptocurrency can do for a city in terms of the revenue generation, which is astronomical.
For some folks, this might appear like they're essentially printing money out of thin air. So I wonder if you could address some of those concerns. And we also looked at the webpage of the CityCoin talking about MiamiCoin, and they talk about 430% yield. And I wonder, how is that possible? And I mean, Lawrence touched upon this. I mean, would that raise some eyebrows with the SEC?
Well, look, I think all cryptocurrencies right now are being looked at by the SEC, and I think regulation is inevitable in the future. I think the key for cities like ours and for everyone who's involved in cryptocurrencies that the regulations be something that does not stifle innovation. Right? We want to make sure that we can be the most innovative city on the planet, the most innovative country on the planet, and we don't want to do anything that creates regulation that kills the innovation that we're seeing in this space. In terms of your first question, MiamiCoin is not too much different from what Bitcoin was at the beginning. People are excited to trade it. They want to hold it. They believe that it has value. Oftentimes people don't understand why Bitcoin has value. And I explain to them, value is anything that we assign value to. Once we start trading in it and create a market for it and it has liquidity, then it has value. And it has value that's very easy to get in and out of. Like the difference between dollars and euros and dollars and francs and dollars and yen. So they're just different sorts of currencies that have values that are set by the market. So, that's the way that Bitcoin had value, and it has a tremendous amount of value. It still has some level of volatility. And MiamiCoin has been pretty stable in its beginning, but certainly could be volatile. There's absolutely no reason to believe that it wouldn't possibly be volatile based on the way Bitcoin has performed since it started.
Mayor Suarez, so the difference between Bitcoin and MiamiCoin, though, is that I assume that some public money is being used to mine it. Is there any cost to the taxpayer at all? There's zero cost. So in other words, my tax dollars aren't going, to mining it, and I'm not paying.
This is 100%. No, I'm sorry. This is 100% profit. So let me explain to you the way it works. So the mining transaction, let's use Bitcoin as an example. When you have a proof of work Bitcoin mine, the miner gets a reward, essentially, right, for mining that transaction. Otherwise, you wouldn't have miners. You wouldn't have a clearinghouse that acts to clear transactions from one person to the other, as the Fed does for fiat currencies. In the case of MiamiCoin protocol, the program that created MiamiCoin requires 30% of all the money that's staked in the proof of transfer mine to go to the city. So it's an automatic transfer. It goes directly into an electronic wallet for the city, and the city can claim it at any time. All we did was claim the money that had been generated through the protocol. So we put $0. There's zero investment. There's zero risk to the city, and it's all benefit.
But there's nothing yet that you can actually use the coin for, correct? Like that. In other words, if I hoard my Miami coin at the moment, right now, I'm not getting a discount to seeing a game or anything at the moment, correct?
At the moment, but you could argue the same thing about Bitcoin. I mean, people are not going into a supermarket to buy a Snickers with Bitcoin, right? So the point is that Bitcoin is a store of value right now, predominantly, right? And the question is whether Bitcoin will ever metamorphosize into a currency. In this case, the argument I'm, because Miami Coin is 4.5 cents, it's much converted into a currency than something that's worth $43,000 that is appreciating, that people are afraid to sort of let go, right? Because they want to hold it. So either one works for me. By the way, if Bitcoin does become a currency, I think that's wonderful for the world, because I think we get off the dependency of fiat, which I think is really what cryptocurrencies were created to do. What's beautiful about Miami Coin is we get a benefit, right? The city gets a huge benefit that is, enormous, and that could be paradigm shifting, particularly for a generation that's looking for solutions to public sector problems and doesn't want to raise taxes.
Mayor Suarez, if I understand correctly, right now the only place that you can buy Miami Coin is on OkCoin, an exchange. Is that correct? Which means that, and OkCoin is not licensed, for example, in the city of New York. So that means, I guess, like New Yorkers aren't able to buy Miami Coin. Are there plans to expand to more exchanges?
Well, like I said, we don't control Miami Coin, but I would like to see it on more exchanges. In fact, I'd like to see it on all exchanges. And obviously, the more exchanges that it's on, the more it benefits the city, because the more that it's bought and sold, and the more that it's mined, and the more that it generates for the city. So I personally would like to see it on every single exchange on the planet, if I could. And certainly, we're going to continue to push the powers that be to do that, because we think that that's the right thing to do, and that creates ubiquity, that creates more liquidity, more transactions, and more mining proceeds for the city. So that's something that I'd like to see, for sure.
Mayor Suarez, so let me understand, what is the relationship between Miami Coin and the city of Miami, if any? And still, again, I'm still wondering, how do you earn up to 430% on your crypto with Miami Coin?
Well, we're not, the relationship is we're the beneficiary, right? That's the relationship from people who mine Miami Coin. That is essentially the relationship. I've talked about it, and I'm talking about it simply because A, we benefit from it, and B, I think it's something that could be revolutionary. And I've done a significant amount of due diligence on it, and there's still more due diligence to do. So that's essentially the relationship, if any. I forgot the second question. Oh, the staking.
430%. Yeah. Yield. If you go onto the Miami Coin website, it says that you can earn up to 430% in yield.
Stakes. Yeah. Look, I don't know exactly how they earn that kind of yield on it. That's something that OkCoin obviously, I suppose, guarantees. So maybe you can try it out with $1 and see if you get that kind of a yield and and it works or not.